Skol, Vikings Nation. The minicamp dust has finally settled at TCO Performance Center, and trust me, we have plenty to talk about regarding the future of our squad. From encouraging updates on our top defensive rookies' recovery, to heart-to-heart admissions from our veteran leaders, the atmosphere is electric as we look toward training camp. Are we witnessing a major shift in the locker room identity? You need to hear what's really going on behind the scenes. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. Let's dive into these crucial updates right now. The Vikings minicamp has officially concluded, marking the end of full squad practices at the TCO Performance Center until the team reconvenes for training camp in late July. While the fields are quiet for now, the insights gathered during this week's press conferences provided a clear snapshot of where the roster stands. Among the most discussed figures is Caleb Banks, the team's first-round pick out of Florida. Banks was unable to participate in minicamp activities due to his ongoing recovery from off-season foot surgery, but the organization's outlook remains optimistic. Throughout the week, he was spotted working on his rehab off to the side, maintaining a trajectory that has the team expecting him to be fully cleared by the time camp begins. Head coach Kevin O'Connell addressed the situation directly, noting that the feedback from the coaching staff, including Ryan Nielsen, Brian Flores, and Pat Hill, has been phenomenal. Even while sidelined physically, Banks has been heavily involved in the mental aspects of the game. O'Connell emphasized that the team has utilized various methods to engage Banks, specifically focusing on the above-the-neck challenge of learning Brian Flores' intricate defensive system. The ability for a rookie to hear, retain, and apply complex information while recovering from surgery is a significant indicator of his progress. By the time the pads come on in late July, the hope is that Banks will have already internalized the defensive scheme. If his physical recovery continues to mirror his mental growth, he is expected to step into a major role in the middle of the Vikings' defensive line. Skol. The path forward for this rookie defensive anchor is clearly defined by his preparation during this mandatory break. As the team looks toward the start of training camp, the focus on Brian O'Neill, the team's Pro Bowl right tackle and longest tenured player, has intensified significantly. Entering the final year of his contract in 2026, O'Neill has emerged as a central figure in discussions regarding potential extensions for the organization. As a team captain who has been a staple of the offensive line since being drafted in the second round back in 2018, his status remains a critical narrative for the franchise. O'Neill addressed his future during press availability, making his intentions clear regarding his desire to remain with the Vikings long-term. Referencing a similar contract process he navigated 5 years ago, O'Neill reaffirmed his commitment to the organization. He stated that the sentiment of wanting to be nowhere else rings more true today than it ever has in the past. His public comments reflect a deep personal connection to the team and the facility, characterizing his current outlook as unequivocal. For the Vikings, the possibility of an extension hinges on finding a middle ground regarding both the value and the term of a new deal, but O'Neill's public stance removes any ambiguity regarding his own priorities. He has positioned himself as a player who is fully invested in the future of the franchise, emphasizing that this building is the only place he wants to represent on the field. While contract negotiations remain a business process, the personal clarity provided by O'Neill is a notable development heading into the summer. The team is now tasked with evaluating how that desire aligns with their strategic planning for the 2026 season and beyond, as they aim to secure their veteran right tackle for the coming years. The discourse surrounding the future of Harrison Smith continues to be a major topic, especially given his absence from the recent offseason program. As a legendary presence within the secondary, his status has become the most discussed question mark for the team. Josh Metellus, one of Smith's closest teammates and friends, provided some clarity on how the locker room is navigating this period of uncertainty. Metellus noted that the team's stance is one of patience, as the organization is prepared to give Smith all the time he has earned to reach his own conclusion. This matters right now because the team is balancing the immense respect for Smith's career with the reality of preparing for the upcoming season without him. Metellus highlighted that his connection with the safety extends well beyond the lines of the football field, making him a confidant rather than a recruiter. The current environment is built on open arms, with Metellus expressing that he would welcome Smith back at any time, but he explicitly stated that he is refusing to pressure any decision based on his own desires for the roster. This dynamic illustrates the maturity of the current locker room, which is choosing to respect the individual needs of a veteran who has played a massive amount of football throughout his tenure. while the coaching staff and front office have made it clear that they would like to have him back. The actualization of that return remains entirely in the hands of the veteran leader. The situation remains a fluid narrative that will likely persist until a final decision is announced, marking a significant transition period for the defensive unit as they prepare for the rigors of the upcoming training camp. The mental preparation of Caleb Banks is arguably the most vital story coming out of the minicamp sessions. Because he was restricted from participating in team drills, the reliance on his ability to absorb the complexity of Brian Flores' system became the primary measure of his development. This is crucial for the team, as they need their first-round pick to transition seamlessly into a starting role on the defensive line. O'Connell's praise for how Banks has handled the above-the-neck challenge suggests that the physical limitation has not hindered his ability to become a knowledgeable player. This development is essential, as the effectiveness of the defensive front depends on the speed at which players can process and react to the intricate defensive calls. By focusing on his cognitive engagement during his recovery, the team is mitigating the risks typically associated with a rookie missing early reps. Looking at the roster as a whole, the combination of a returning Brian O'Neill, who is vocal about his desire to stay, and the potential impact of a mentally prepared Caleb Banks, provides a look at how the team is managing its veteran leadership and youth. The organization is prioritizing the retention of established talent like O'Neill, while simultaneously ensuring that incoming contributors like Banks are prepared to handle high-level defensive responsibilities. This balancing act defines the team's current operational phase, focusing on continuity and growth. As everyone transitions into the final weeks of the offseason, the focus remains on ensuring that these key players are in the best possible position to contribute once the full squad training camp begins at the end of July, setting the stage for the 2026 season's competitive demands. The collective focus on the return of Harrison Smith serves as a bridge between the team's storied history and its immediate future. The leadership group, including players like Metellus, has adopted a position of supporting the veterans' need for space, which demonstrates a stable environment despite the uncertainty surrounding the roster. This does not impact the team's professional trajectory, but it does serve as a reminder of the transition that occurs every offseason. Meanwhile, the consistent progress of Caleb Banks ensures that the team is not just waiting for answers, but actively preparing for its future production on the field. The recovery process for Banks, which remains on schedule, is a positive note that the staff is monitoring closely as they head into the break. The combination of O'Neill's public commitment to the franchise and the steady, quiet work of the rookie class highlights the dual path the Vikings are currently navigating. They are managing the end of a legendary career, for some while building the foundation for the next wave of playmakers. All of these moving parts will come together when the team returns to the TCO Performance Center for the start of training camp. The coaches, the veterans like O'Neill, and the rookies like Banks are all operating under the same umbrella of preparation, even if their individual circumstances, such as injury status or contract timelines, differ significantly. As the minicamp concludes, the organization moves forward with a clear understanding of its personnel, the status of its key contributors, and the roadmap that will lead them into the most intensive part of the off-season schedule, focusing on executing the plan set during these meetings.